Having the right TV and sound system is essential for a good home theater experience, but more often than not, you have to buy them as two separate items. Well, Sony has something here that may just solve that problem. Hi, I'm Carl from Abt, and this is the Bravia 9 series. It's one of Sony's flagship models for 2024, and it has all the flagship stuff you'd want. Before we get started on the specs though, let's talk about the new naming structure for a moment. Sony's made a great move here in simplifying their model numbers to make them easier to recognize. Now you've got the Bravia 3, which are LED TVs, Bravia 7, which are Mini QLEDs, Bravia 8, which is a line of OLED TVs, and finally the Bravia 9, which goes back to Mini QLED. So this is the Bravia 9. Looks-wise, it's got a fantastic design. It's got a sleek-looking metallic bezel around the perimeter of the screen, this checkered pattern on the back, along with several panels to hide any unsightly connection ports or cables, and a two-footed pedestal that can be arranged in one of 4 different ways: low profile in a wide or narrow configuration, or soundbar ready in a wide or narrow. I will say, if you're setting it up with the low profile height, be very careful placing the TV. I have pretty skinny fingers and they were still getting pinched under there when we set it down. Even with that, it's nice to see the flexibility, since now there's less of a concern as to whether it'll fit on your existing entertainment stand, or you can always mount this on the wall with an optional wall mount if you choose. If you need any help finding the right one, be sure to give our TV experts a call here at the number down in the description. As we move around to the back of the TV, you'll see all the connections along with a couple of buttons. The first button to note is the power button, which is hidden right up at the top here above the 2 USB Type A's. Then you have a microphone switch to turn the far field mics on and off, a mini plug that works as either an S-center speaker input or as an optical audio output, and they do include an optical adapter in the box. Then you've got 4 HDMIs, an Ethernet jack, RS-232C, an IR input, and an antenna connection with an ATSC 3.0 tuner that's going to support next-gen TV content. Now, I want to go back to the HDMIs for a second because there is something to note here. Only numbers 3 and 4 offer full HDMI 2.1 support. This isn't uncommon for Sony TVs. It just would have been nice to see it on all 4 of them, since it does seem like every other major brand does it now. It likely won't matter for most people, but if you're a gamer with multiple next-gen systems and you want to use the HDMI eARC to run an audio source, audio to a soundbar or receiver, you may not be able to plug them all in at the same time and take advantage of all their features. But I would not let that deter you at all from considering this TV for your home theater. Then we've got the remote, which has the same button layout as the one that came with the 2023 models, but this one is made from mostly recycled plastic, it's backlit, and it comes with a rechargeable battery and a USB A to C cable to charge it up. However, you will need to supply your own power brick. Moving on, we've got the operating system. This Bravia 9, like the last several generations of Sony TVs, uses Google TV, and it's gotten some minor updates to make the cosmetics look a little bit better. Functionally, it's still pretty much the same. It's easy to use and has a huge catalog of apps and games to choose from if that's your thing. On the home page, you're going to see a customizable row of your favorite apps and some curated content that you can browse, but otherwise it's a pretty simple interface. Some other features you get with the Bravia 9 are things like Google Assistant for hands-free operation, Chromecast and Apple AirPlay 2. It even works with Alexa-enabled devices if those are your choice of smart home products. Now let's talk about one of the features that really caught me off guard, the audio. This is one of those rare TVs that actually sounds good, and not just good, it's borderline great. First off, it gets Sony's Acoustic Multi-Audio Plus technology, and it incorporates beam tweeters at the top of the screen and frame tweeters on the sides that output legitimately good surround and height effects when you're listening to Atmos or DTS-X content. Even if you've got just a normal track playing, the TV can upscale that for a simulated surround experience. You get a fantastic sense of space from the Bravia 9 speakers. Voice Zoom 3 technology helps the dialogue come through clearly, high frequencies are defined and sharp, and there's great separation. The only spot where you could maybe say it struggles a little is in the bass, which is totally acceptable given the shallow profile of the TV. It's not bad by any means, you just don't get quite the same floor-shaking rumble as you would with a standalone subwoofer. That being said, if you're looking for a TV that doesn't require supplementary audio, this is one you'll have to consider. The other part of this TV that immediately stands out is, you guessed it, the picture. Sony always does a great job reproducing accurate colors and providing viewers with a fantastic picture, but This takes it to another level. The X95L from last year was outstanding, but it only came in one size, 85 inches. The Bravia 9 is even better, and it comes in 65, 75, and 85 inches, so it's going to attract a much wider audience. As soon as you turn this thing on and get through the setup process, you're going to immediately notice how bright it is. The first thing we actually did was turn off the energy saving settings, set it to the professional picture profile, and adjust the brightness to 30. But this may not be the best setup for everyone, so take some time to go through them all to see which one you like the best. You've also got some app-specific picture profiles to choose from, like Netflix calibrated mode and Prime Video calibrated mode, which are designed to give you the optimum settings for content on those particular platforms. Then we have the contrast, which is phenomenal too. It uses Sony's XR backlight master drive, which is what we typically see on their flagship models. This controls the Mini LED backlights to give you extremely deep black levels and really bright whites. No, it's not quite the same as an OLED, but the picture is so much brighter that you almost don't even notice. And the light bloom that's traditionally associated with an LED backlit screen is handled pretty well on this. It's still there, but the way Sony controls these mini LEDs is getting closer and closer to giving you those perfect black levels you get with an OLED. As far as upscaling goes, the Bravia 9 does a terrific job with that too. All your old 1080p content gets pretty close to the detail levels of something shot in 4K, and the motion handling is great too. This uses Sony's XR motion clarity to keep all that fast action looking natural on the screen. We liked the auto setting best, but just like with the picture profiles, play around a little and see what looks best to you. But it's not all positives here. There are a couple things to mention that weren't necessarily the best. If you shine a bright light on the screen, you get a pretty significant rainbow effect, which some people may not like. It's not overly prevalent when you're watching something really bright, but you will absolutely notice it if the screen is dark, so keep that in mind if you have any lights in your room that may shine directly on the screen. The other thing to note with the picture is the viewing angle. The Bravia 9 does get Sony's X-wide angle technology, which does help maintain the picture quality as you move off angle, but the 65-inch model we have here does use a VA type panel, so it's a little more narrow than a TV with, say, an IPS panel. If your TV is installed in an area where you'll have to watch at an angle, it would be a good idea to check this one out in person first to see if that's going to cause any issues where you have it installed. As for gaming on the Bravia 9, it's also really good, no surprise there. It still supports 4K at 120 Hz and variable refresh rates on HDMI's number 3 and 4. It has auto HDR tone mapping to help bring out the details hidden in the shadows and the bright areas of your games. It supports Dolby Vision for gaming, and you have a game settings menu that lets you customize some of the gaming specific features. The Bravia 9 series is a tremendous TV. The picture quality is on par with the best TVs out there for 2024, and it's as bright as any TVs we've seen so far. The audio quality is top of the class, and the operating system is easy to use and has a huge selection of apps to choose from. It would have been good to see 4 HDMI 2.1s here, but it's not a deal breaker, and a slightly wider viewing angle would be good too, but that's kind of nitpicking. If you're looking for a TV that is going to instantly impress anyone watching it, this is one for sure you'll want to consider. If you live in the Chicagoland area, be sure to stop by Abt and check it out in person, or you can give one of our TV experts a call to hear about any of our current pricing or for help with any questions you might have. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more of the great home theater products we carry here at Abt. Thanks as always for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.